Part 2.
Okay, put D equals, not D times that. What is this, a group effort over here? Thirteen, 14, 15, 16, 17.
You're doing 5?
Yeah, I'm how's that look?
You're in the right track.
Am I messing up?
You gotta square your two.
Oh.
Wait, how do you get 144?
Wait, I'm sorry. I'll take that back.
Okay, keep going.
On the outside. Oh, both of these, right?
Okay, stop. All of you need to look at group number 1. You finished. So now if you don't know how to do problem number 5, take it away.
Oh, everybody know how to do number 5, right?
No, you gotta tell them.
Oh, okay. So for D, we're finding the distance formula, and then it's gonna be x, first, I guess the second x minus the first x, and then you're gonna add it to your y minus your second y, and then you're gonna square both, and then that's gonna come down as 4 minus 6 squared equals 4, and then negative 2 plus 6 squared equals 16, and then you're gonna put a radical 20, and then you're gonna have a perfect square within that 20, which is 4 times 5, and it comes out as a 2, which gives you 2 radical 5s. I'm not Miss Barbier, but, you know.
2 radical 5 is your final answer. If you don't know how to do it, go take a picture of it. Okay, sit down.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, problem number 7. Next person in the group, get your fannies up there. Number 6, sorry, number 6. Go. Person number 2 in the group number 2, go. You don't know how to talk to your group. Go, go.
Hope copy and your formula
In order for
translates
us
over.
to get through 20 problems, we gotta go fast. I'm gonna point out whoever gets it first, that's the work we're gonna be showing. Number this, please, that you're doing number 6. Number 6. Everybody. Number 6. You don't know how, talk to your team. You're a team.
Huh? Wait a minute.
I'm gonna read right now, but on Wednesday.
Yeah, the pressure is on today. Whenever you're ready, Tim.
What do I do?
Stop. Stop.
Simplify.
Stop.
You're
You can
simplifying.
only add like terms.
Lights.
It's the same as adding 2x plus 3x.
So
You can only add those together if they both have x's. Underneath your radicals, those are totally yucky poo caca. You gotta break down that 8, you gotta break down that 32 to get some perfect square
So,
factors out of it.
yeah.
You're breaking all
So
the
you gotta
rules
break,
known
you
to
gotta break
man.
down all of those radicals. So,
2 2x underneath the radical is probably your like term.
Yes. So,
2x
down
is
now.
yeah.
probably
So
your like
the two X is
term.
gonna come down. And
So that one you
that
don't have
8x
to
is gonna
change,
be
but
broken down to
everybody
2
else
and
has
4.
to be changed.
And then you're gonna bring the 2 out of that. So 8x is actually, you're gonna put 2 times 4x, and then the 4 comes out as a 2, because you're gonna, see, I'm horrible at explaining.
No, you do good.
I mean,
You do fine.
you get what I'm saying? So the 2x being the lowest variable, that you're gonna try to factor the 8x and the 32x. So the 8x is gonna come out as a 2 because you have 4 times 2. And the perfect square of 4 is gonna be 2. See what I'm saying? So leave the 4 outside right there that you have, but now you factor the 8x.
Okay, stop,
I'm freaking out. I can't.
stop, stop.
So we see what you did right there?
Okay, over here, be teacher,
She's
go.
opening it up.
All right, everybody look over on this group here, 1920. What'd you do?
So I broke the 8x and the 32x, which is 2 square root of 2x is with, and then a 4. And then you multiply the two front numbers, so 4 times 2 is 8, 7 times 4 is 28. You can't forget the 1, so you just have the 1, 8, 28, 37. And then all of these are common, so it's just square root of 2x.
Okay, underneath, look up here too, if you're over, if you're not quite
There it is.
there yet. This is correct. She's bringing out, there's no plus here. This 4 is next to it, so the 4 is there. She's gonna bring out another group of 4s, so it's a multiply problem here, not an add. She's bringing this 4 out as a 2. And over here, she's bringing a 4 out. That's the work I would show. Look, this is all I would do. Now, 2 times 4 is 8 radical 2x. This is 1 radical 2x. And over here, 4 times 7 is 28 radical 2x. Now I'm going to combine all my like terms. That's called work. You don't look at this and say, I'm going to combine these 3 things. They're not like. From day 1, I've told you we can only combine like terms. So 2x plus 3x are called like terms. But if it said 2x plus 3y, you can't combine those. Likewise with radicals. So in your notes, I would put, hey, let's look for the smallest radicand, what's underneath. And let's see if we can convert all of them to have a 2x underneath the radicand. And that's what I did.
Why does a 4 come out? Is it because there's 2 4s and then if they come
Four
out as
is
2
a-
2s?
4 is a perfect square.
No, I'm saying on the third one? Or the 16?
It's the
There's
first
two-
square of 16.
There's 2.
4 times 4 is 16.
So 2 2s come out, which makes it 4 times 7?
She should have 2x here. Okay, say it again. Yeah,
Oh.
16 comes out as a 4. The work I do is I write this down, break down the 8 to be 4 times 2,
Mm-hmm.
and put the x. I break the 32 down to be 16 times 2. Why did I pick 4 and 16? Because it's on my half sheet of perfect squares. Now when I bring them out of the radical house, they come out as what number times itself?
Yeah.
So 4 comes out as a 2, but you have a 4 out in front already that's being multiplied. That's where the 8 comes from.
But my question is, can't 4 be simplified further to a 2 and brought out
Where?
on the 16?
I did. I have 16 is 4 times 4.
So that can be simplified further, 2
Just say
times
break
2.
down both of the 4s. into
Oh.
2s.
But then
Well,
it
if you
comes-
do that, it still comes out as a 4.
Yeah, because 2 2s come out, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so you always want to look for the biggest one. That's why I wrote 16 here. You look on your half sheet, look at 16 on the top row. What does it come out as? A 4. Now you could break 16 down, you could do it some more, but why? This is already a perfect square. Why do you want to do more work?
That was my question, is just like,
It's a
Once
good
it's a
question.
perfect square, you can pull it out no matter what.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a good guy.
Okay.
That stunk. It means you guys didn't do any review over the weekend and you got 2 days to do an assignment that has 20 questions. Again, that looks like this review sheet. This review sheet is not your homework for tonight. You gotta go on D2L and find your homework. There's 20 questions that again is going over these 20 questions. And you get 5 points for it. We're running out of points. Some of you aren't doing your homework. It shows. It shows. You're getting 10 points for your quizzes because you're using my practice quiz or I'm giving you group activities. But even if you get a 10 out of 10, if you don't do your homework, you're down to a D. I don't get why you guys don't do homework. Some of you are religious doing your homework. I appreciate it. But you gotta do that homework. Why? Because it reviews in your brain. You're coming up here cold turkey. This is awful. Okay, let's have the next person come up and see if they can do number 7. Okay, you're up.
Yes.
Okay. So, you're up. If you forgot how to do it, ask your group. Ouch. Number 7.
Just like this.
Okay, go.
I'm doing this on the paper and then doing it.
No, do it up there, because otherwise we won't have time. If I wait for everybody to do it on the paper, we won't have time, sorry, Stacey.
It's just writing, that's just writing, because the.
Perfect. Don't forget your radical sign in your first box. Okay, stop. Let's look in the back. Tell us what your, how did you come about that?
2 binomials, box,
You can multiply.
Comes out when there's this.
Go ahead.
3 times 5 is 15, put it in a radical box. Neg 3 times radical 5 is neg 3 radical 5. Neg 5 times radical 3 is neg 5 radical 3. Neg 3 times neg 5 is 15. Put it all in this order.
Okay. You're doing FOIL, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, do you have plus signs between all those or times? Is that,
This is minus, this is minus, this is plus.
okay, okay. From back here, it looks like a time sign. Okay. All right. You guys, the reason why I have you up the board is I can look at 5 people's paper and help you. So I'm not trying to make your life miserable, trying to make your life better. And you can take a picture of anybody's work that you want. Okay, let's go to the next one, number 8. We're back to the first person again, or the last person. Depends on how many you have in the group. Okay, number 8. Remember when you have a binomial squared, your diagonals should have the same numbers in it if you're using the box method. Those are gonna be like three. What happened to this group here? 13, 14. Huh? I know, but then you go through it again.
Is that close?
Next time, you're-
I would definitely say I'm okay with it.
okay, what do we got?
We get some more.
But look at
25, okay. Nobody's done yet. The diagonals aren't gonna cancel out because they should be identical. You should have -10 radical 5 in
I
both.
missed that one, yeah.
And the reason being is that you're
That-
putting
that's
this
wrong.
up here and it should be right here. And then when you multiply, you're gonna get your
-25
-10.
minus
Radical
20 is
5,
minus 20.
-10 radical 5. Now how many radical 5s do you have?
radical,
I think what I've got wrong here is a -16. Anybody else got a -16?
Okay, what do we have?
yeah, and now you can do like terms with those two. These two, and the one to the right.
Times 5 is 20. 45, yay, okay. Okay, stop. What you should have is the backboard here, look, whose was it? Get up, show what you got. You have to talk louder, nobody will hear
I
you.
just multiplied them and then you take the 5 out of there and multiply by 4 and then just combine it.
Did y'all hear him?
Yes.
You guys have good ears. I'm 72, I guess I couldn't hear. Okay, I'm gonna go over to his, and he's got a perfect work here. You should have 25 in your first box if you're doing the box method. You need a -10 radical 5, and the diagonal is always going to be the same when your problem is a binomial squared. You might put that in your math notes. These two right here, these guys should be identical when you have a binomial squared. And so all you're gonna do is combine the front coefficients, -10, -10, that gives him -20 of these radical 5s. And then radical 25 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. So he has 20 here and a 25 there, that's where the 45 comes from.
But
I'm still waiting for a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people to all get the same answer. Guys, you guys have a lot of studying to do if you want to do well on this next exam. Okay, let's go up, next person. Woo, come on you guys, we're gonna get a group together. Next person, it says rationalize that denominator. What's rationalize the denominator? This should be one of the easiest problems on the whole thing.
I'm saying what.
Let her do it so she remembers it.
So then we get rid of that. And then get rid of X, I'm gonna get rid of X, and have radicals in the bottom.
Do a radical x over radical x. That's called rationalize your denominator. Okay, on top, these two guys are still in a radical, so that should still be in a radical. You haven't gotten rid of
One
that.
times what? 25.
Actually, 11
That was 5, so you got 2
And what is radical x times radical x turn out to be?
Oh, yeah.
in the denominator?
So, multiply.
Just X, you know, pair underneath the radical, they just come outside and play. Okay, now that has to be cleaned up. 50 is 25 times something, not 5 times 10. 5 and 10 are perfect squares.
25 times.
Oh my goodness, what do we got here? Radical x over radical x, that's good. At the bottom you got an x, on top you have, is that a 50x? Yeah, now clean up 50. 50's got a perfect square. It's got something on that half sheet that's bad underneath.
It's gonna be 2 times the square root of 5, why
You
can't it
need the
just be 10?
radical over is
Or what?
50x.
Never mind.
I don't know.
Square root of
You don't wanna
25.
do this, you wanna look at that half sheet.
It's not still over X, is it?
Perfect square, what's 50
Um,
cents? One perfect square is 50 cents.
Do I put it over X?
So
Quarters.
what's radical of
When it ends in a zero, you always use a 25.
Oh, maybe you,
Now that gets to come out of
can you flip
jail.
it?
Here, this comes
I
out
don't
of
know.
jail as, come here,
I'm not gonna hold
what's
you
a
guys back.
radical 25 come out as?
radical
Not
x
a
times
2.
radical x? Just x.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting scared, you guys. Huh? Everybody in the room should be scared right now because, again, I haven't said anything since I've been back, way back in March, or 8 March,
Why not put a
when
negative
I
right
came
there?
back. But you guys have not been doing the homework. And those of you that have been handing it in, a lot of you just write the answer down and then say, oh, it's done. Because I give you the answers. I don't have stupid on my forehead. I have, okay, if you wanna play that game, go ahead. But when there's a 100-point exam coming up and you haven't practiced those 20 problems showing the work, you're gonna get the grade that you deserve, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it, guys. This is serious stuff. I'm seeing some major, major errors that you guys are just doing that homework minimalistically. Those of you that are doing it, some of you. Some of you are doing a beautiful job. But there's a lot of you that I put 0 out of 5 every week on your quiz. I'm not your mother. If that's the grade you want, then that's good. You get a D for that day because you've not done 5 out of the 15 points possible. That gives you a 10 out of 15. In my book, that's a 66% for that day. And that's what you're showing me on the boards right now is a 66%. I don't care if I give you the answers to the quiz for today. If you haven't done the homework, you still got a D in my class. Haven't you figured that out yet? You gotta look at your grades, guys. Do you guys look at your grades? Some of you have done that bonus survey. 10 points. You know what that raises your final percent points? 1 and 2%. If you're at a 50%, you still get an F in my class. 10 points is nothing. But if you don't do homework for 16 class periods or 32 class periods, that's 300 points you're missing. If you don't practice what's on the exam, I see what I see right now. This is junk. This should be the easiest problem in the world. All right. This one up here is good. It's called work. She's showing me breaking it down to 2 condos, rationalizing that denominator, because the denominator cannot have a radical in your final answer. X times x is x squared. You got a perfect square underneath the radical, comes out as a single. Up top, radical 50. If it ends in a 0, guys, either 100's going to go into it or 25's going to go into it. Those should be the easiest problems that you have. I'm sorry to get grumpy, but it's already 10:30 and we're only on question 9 because it takes so much explanation. I see 5 people standing up here not knowing what to do. Okay, radical 25 comes out as a 5. The 2x doesn't have any perfect squares in it, so it's got to stay inside the house. X and 5 can't reduce or cancel, it means you're done. You've rationalized that fraction. Okay, next group, do number 10. Oh my goodness gracious. Conjugates. Next person.
Look at this
Take
one right here.
pictures of whatever you see. Talk to whoever you see. You guys are in trouble. And you're darn lucky you get a group quiz today if you haven't done the homework again. If I gotta put another 0 and a 5 on your homework, you still have a D in the class.
So it's literally the opposite. You just minus side plus.
You don't know what to do, talk to your group. Go. Go. Better go up to the board. Whose turn is it? Okay, go up to the board. Conjugates. Alex,
Toneberry.
you know what a conjugate is?
Conjugate gonna be, I forget if it's the opposite or by the same thing. So will I,
You change the sign.
it will be the opposite, yes. The opposite for that second term. Thank you.
Put this in a parenthesis too, so we can see what you're doing. What's her conjugate? Conjugate means you gotta change the sign. It's one, they're twins. One's a plus sign, one's a minus sign. Oh my goodness gracious.
6 times 6.
Huh?
Yeah, 6.
This is the last.
See what you got.
What happened here?
Did you stop?
Yep. Motions. Can't focus with my irrational emotions. I'm too expressive with my irrational. I can't conjugate with this problem
Conjugates,
anymore.
you don't have any diagonals, it's just the first
Just
term
it won't
squared,
equate
the
to
second, and the last term
work.
squared. Only halfway through.
Don't worry, guys. I'll kick myself out. I'm not even copying your work.
So now you.
I was worried about this today.
So now you.
Could it be because there's a lot that we're learning at once?
No, it could be because I had too many students that got a 0 out of 5 on their homework. A lot of days.
Yeah, right.
If you don't practice, Michael Jordan will not be a good basketball player. Any of your sports people, if they don't practice every day, they will not be a pro.
Maybe true. Maybe no. Maybe just figure it out.
And that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, maybe you just make it.
You can't sit and do the homework after you take the quiz, after you haven't had the class for 4 days and expect to remember it. It's not gonna happen.
Now, some of us may deserve our effort to be insulted, and some of us may deserve for our intelligence to be insulted, but somebody's gonna be offended if you pick one.
I'm not insulting anybody, I'm saying this is what I'm seeing. I didn't call anybody stupid, anybody dumb. I'm saying if you don't practice,
The
you
effort.
will not get a good grade on your exam. That's all I'm saying. You gotta practice. And you gotta practice daily. You can't practice one day. You gotta practice daily.
Let's simulate.
When you learned how to write your name, you practiced your name daily, believe it or not. In kindergarten, they practiced the T and the Y.
Oh, look how great I am at
and
it.
the
I
M.
don't even spell my name right.
Yeah. Well, I don't care, but they practiced it every day. Your address every day, your phone number every day until you could remember it. There's a reason why.
Okay, so
That's supposed to.
Okay, this is a mess. When they ask me to rationalize, and there's two terms, you put those two terms into a parenthesis, and that's your first binomial, and you have to multiply it by its conjugate. And we went over conjugates in class. Conjugate means you copy the exact same thing, but instead of the minus this here, it's gotta be a plus. And you gotta do that on top and bottom. This is an easy problem, believe it or not, that you should have be done in about 5 seconds. If you know what conjugates are. When you have conjugates, the only thing you have to multiply are the first two terms together. That gives me 36 times 7. Because underneath the radical, I have 7 times 7, that's 49, it comes out as a 7. I have a pair of twins right here that are underneath the radical, so it comes out as a 7. So all I gotta do with my calculator is multiply 36 times 7. Now the last terms, I have radical 6 times radical 6. What does that give me? 36, but it comes out as whatever's being repeated. So now take your calculator and you get that number on the bottom. How hard is that? 36 times 7 minus 6. Press enter. I didn't have to show any work because I know what a conjugate is and I know what happens with a conjugate, that the diagonals, all of you are doing boxes for that bottom part. One should be a negative, one should be a positive, they should be canceling out, so why even do the box? But you can if you want to, but they cancel out. Now on top, what do I have to do? I have to take this guy and I have to multiply it by each of these. So the first term, 6 is outside, and I have radical 6 times radical 7, that's radical 42. There's no perfect squares underneath that radical. 6 and 7 are not on that half sheet. I'm done with that part. Now I have radical 6 times radical 6. What does that come out as?
6.
All over, what's the number on the bottom? What is it? Somebody used a calculator, I don't know. Huh? 246? Is it 246?
Yeah.
246? Now, can 246, 6, and 6, do they all have a number in common that I can reduce or cancel out? What number can go into all?
6.
6? Okay. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into my denominator how many times?
41.
41. So my answer is radical 42 plus 1 all over 41. What work did I show? This, and on top, that's it. Come you guys. Number 11. Go.
Ow. Okay. We gonna do the conjugate of that one too?
Number 11. You got a division problem. When you have a division problem, you gotta simplify it, reduce
Okay.
it. So we need to look at our radical and make sure that there's no perfect squares underneath that radical. 242, what number goes into 242? Seven doesn't go into 242. Oh, he's not done yet.
Oh, but what,
Yes, he is. Forty-five times five times 45, that's 40.
49.
Oh, it's 49?
Yeah, 49.
Okay,
Yeah.
49 times 5.
is it 49?
so you do 11
Okay.
Two and part. That wouldn't be right.
Cancel this out.
49 times 5.
Pardon?
That's what it's in
Yeah.
You always clean up your
245,
radicals
yeah.
first.
242? Are you sure?
What, 49 times 5, is that what you said?
Yeah, he has to revisit.
Sounds like 45 to me.
No.
I mean, yeah, 245. I thought you were telling him no 245.
No, it's not. It's 242 is what he wants the radical of, not
Oh.
245.
Alright.
36, divided by 2.
242, what number goes into
That would be- that was
242?
bad. So it's equal.
Okay.
I think it's 2 and 121, it's 11. I don't know where he's getting a 9 or 5
I
from.
gotta-
whatever we have.
Oh, it's just a quiz that we can't.
Did you divide everything by 2? Now
I can
multiply
talk to you
30
guys on this,
times
and this isn't great.
11. That's not done yet. You're almost done. You didn't. 2 goes into,
You're doing a
did you do
good job.
2 in the, what are you doing
No,
here? Clean this up before you start dividing by 2. You got a 45, put equal to 45. And what's 90 times 11? I don't think, well, we have calculators. In my day, I had a box that about. No, sir, 190. 90 times 11. Radical 2 all over. Okay, now what number can go into 45, 990, and 36 even? Go bigger, does 9 go into 45? 9 go into 45? Yes. Will 9 go into 990? Will 9 go into 36? Pick a bigger number than 3 or 2 or whatever. Oh my goodness gracious. Now you can divide all of these by 9, 9, 9.
You're up there, so it's 5 seconds.
Which always sounds like Hitler yelling or something.
Is that the right answer?
Yeah.
Is that what's in the back? What problem are we doing, number 11? 5 minus 110 radical 2 all over 4, yay. Okay, in the back we have it. Did you show me Word? Yes?
Yeah.
Good job, yes. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
like it.
All right.
Okay, I like it, I like it. Guys, right here, look, right here, where she has a 45 for one term, she has this for another term, and this for another term. As long as I can divide all 3 circles by the same number, that's called reduced. I'm not picking up my calculator yet, but I know that 9 goes into 36 and 45, so I'm gonna bet that 9 goes into 90. So right here, she can divide by 9, divide by 9, divide this by 9, that gives you 10, and 10 times 11 is how much? 110, radical 2. This is a what? 9 goes into there what? 5 times. So there's where 5 minus 10 times 11 is 110, radical 2 all over 4. How many learned something today? You honest people, some of you are just sitting there hoping you can pass this exam. I'm going to tell you, if you want to go to the 151 or the 142 class next week, 99% of you have to, you got to be able to work with radicals. It's not just a one quiz Band-Aid that you need to do, you got to practice. Practice, practice, and practice. Just like you had to practice how to drive, you had to practice how to parallel park, you gotta practice radicals. Number 12. I don't know if I can do another one, but try it. I'm sad. I'm ready to cry. You should be begging to go up there instead of not trying to go up there, because the more you go up there, the more you're gonna realize, I gotta learn this problem, otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. I agree. You do, right? No, you don't do, you're not embarrassing yourself, trust me today. Nobody is embarrassing themselves. Your brains all forgot what we're doing. So you talk to your teammate, you have to help you. Work
Let's
with your
see
teammates.
how to do it.
And when you work with them, trust me, you're gonna remember what you need to do. And this is the easiest problem we've done since first grade class. New stuff. Well, here's where you're gonna go wrong. Want you to do the box on this. Because that doesn't give you two twins. See, I'm catching your work as you go, people. That's why I have you at the board. Not to embarrass you, it's I can check 5 people's paper at one time and give you a clue on how to do it. You gotta square your right side. P plus 5, no, next line. Square P plus 5. No, put parentheses on it. Perfect. Now, multiply that puppy out, either use the box method, or, there you go. Now, you see what you're gonna have to do in your exam? You went to the shortcut and just did these two.
Are you
And then
trying to
your
say
exam, when
something
you get
along
this,
the
you
lines
gotta
of
remember to do this.
this squared equals?
Or you gonna do, like you do, you have to do FOIL, so you can do FOIL for like, just put them side by side.
Oh, we will we'll wanna break that part up. Right.
So you can just do P plus 5 times P plus 5, and you're FOILing it.
Minus 13.
And then we can get rid of the radical sign.
Absolutely.
Cool. So P squared minus 3P plus 64 equals, do that.
And then bring it over 31. So negative.
Why are you bringing everything to one
Equals
side? Oh, because you think you have to factor it. That's good, it's a good error.
Did you get that first sheet?
For just for those or?
Yay.
Okay, that's P squared
Okay.
plus 10P
When
plus
you
25.
made those silly errors, like if you said this was P squared plus 25, on your note
Plus
card,
30.
you wanna put when you have a binomial and you got it squared, or you have to multiply two binomials, don't forget to do the box method. What we're doing now is discovering the errors that you're gonna have when you're stressed out with an exam on Wednesday. And some of you are gonna be stressed out unless you write some really good notes, but this is called work. And if you can't get this, you need to stay after and you need to work with me. You need to go to tutoring and work with the tutor. You need to get a study group with your group. Everybody in the room can do it. But it means you gotta practice, guys. It doesn't mean you're dumb, it doesn't mean you're stupid, it means your brain forgot. I forget how to spell the, I keep telling you that. Thank God my phone does it for me, but I forget. But I keep practicing it and keep practicing it and try it without the phone until it's finally sticking in my brain. That's what you gotta do when an exam comes up. Or you gotta write really good notes on your little cheat sheet. Okay, questions on 12. This one's beautiful up front. That one's good over there, that one's starting. But you gotta look at the work, take pictures of it, or talk to somebody and learn how to do it if you forgot how to do it. Again, we've all forgotten, there's 20 topics on this piece of paper, and if you haven't practiced it a lot, maybe it takes 10 times instead of 7 times. You gotta ask, you gotta talk. Okay. Anybody need help on 12 or 13, 14? No. If you don't know how to do 12 or 13 or 14, you better stay after class and get some one-on-one help. I'm not mad, guys, I'm just disappointed. This is a lot of careless mistakes we're making that you guys can't make on your exam, or I'm gonna be giving zeros out of 100. That makes me grumpy. I want everybody to get an A in the exam, not an F. That's why I'm disappointed. It's not in you, it's you gotta crank it up a little bit. Okay, what are we gonna do on number 15 to solve it?
You're gonna multiply it by conjugate.
By a conjugate, are you familiar now with the word? What's my conjugate?
8 plus 7.
8 plus 8 plus 7i on top and bottom. So problem 15 is just like the last one where we had a conjugate, except it's 8 plus 7i over 8 plus 7i. And what you're gonna get, again, is 8 times 8 is 64, minus 7 times 7 is 49i squared. What does I squared equal? Neg 1. You better know that on your exam if you don't. So this is neg 1 times the neg 49. What do you get? Plus. So it's 64 plus 49 for your denominator, whatever that is. On top, you just have to distribute that 2 times the 8, and then 2 times the 7i. That's distributive. We did that the first day of class.
16, 14.
All over what? 113? Use your calculator or your brain.
Yeah, it's 14 instead of
Which one's 14?
14. 14.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Okay. It's 11 o'clock. We didn't finish the quiz. Square root of both sides, plus or minus on the right side. So we're gonna put that plus sign. And you gotta clean up 24. It's got a perfect square factor of 6 and it has 4. Plus minus 2 radical 6. Now you just subtract the 8.
I discarded every problem for you, I didn't do it.